Let me ask you a question. Being that you put it out there, you have how many different baby mothers?
I have 14 baby mamas,
You have 14 baby mamas.
18 kids,
So,
35 to 6.
okay. And you speak reverently about it. You just heard that.
Yeah,
So I
I'm
know you
open and
proud.
honest with it because it's a okay. I'll tell you, I had to get to a point at the evolution to where I became. I felt like I was let me see, a heart disease to my community. I was the disease to my community. Then I had
Okay.
to get to a point where I wanted to become, medicine to my community. So I evolved to where I spoke on it because not enough brothers speak on the things they go through to make them be the person they want to become. So
Okay.
that goes back to evolution.
Okay. This is a non-judgment zone, Murph.
Oh
You
yeah,
did what you
definitely.
did.
I
You was out in the streets. You was living your life. You was slinging raw penis, north, south, east, west.
just as much as I was slanging penis is like slanging dope. It's like slanging hope. It's like slanging anything that's an ideal, anything that's a product or a service. Slanging is slanging. The
Yeah.
evolution part of being, I think, a man is you're going to be natural first. Your creation, you're born, you're natural. As you as you grow, you then become more. You become emotional. Then you become mental. And then you conquer spirituality. The first thing you're born with is your physical existence. Then it's emotional. Then it's mental. Then it's spiritual. To me, that's the order it goes. Um, I think what my brother's saying is that the physical and the nature side never goes away. It's just that as you grow and evolve, you then have emotional and mental fortitude or stability to not succumb, but um,
Suppress.
suppress the physical or the nature. Because the nature,
Oh, okay.
if biblically think about it, the biblically it's our nature to to conquer and kill one another. That's our nature. To 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 best the next. To as you said, you use Napoleon as a thing. His whole nature was to conquer. That his being, his essence of who he was to conquer. And I think that's all men to conquer. But as you grow and evolve, you then have to include your emotional state to that, your mental state, and your emotional state. I mean, spiritual state to where you don't want to do that to the next man
So,
or
so
the
Murph,
this and that.
let me ask you a question. Shan asked you if you had the ability to go back in time and do it all over, you would do the same things that you did that
Because I believe,
led you
yes,
here.
I would. I believe in
Okay,
lessons.
so
Those lessons and blessings, it helped me be who I am today. I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for the getting knocked down or getting robbed or robbing somebody or whatever. Those trials and tribulations or those tests and testimonies wouldn't help evolve you into the person you are today. So a lot of us, we always, the saying is, if I could do my
I
life
know
over again,
now
I
what
could
I
do
know
something different, I
then.
would.
I would be okay.
No,
So let me ask you a question. Being that you put it out there, you have how many different baby mothers?
I have 14 baby mamas,
You have 14 baby mamas.
18 kids,
So
35 to 6.
okay, and you speak reverently about it. You just heard that.
Yeah,
So
I'm,
I
I'm
know you
open and
proud.
honest with it because it's a okay. I'll tell you, I had to get to a point at the evolution to where I became. I felt like I was let me see, a heart disease to my community. I was the disease to my community. Then I
Okay,
had to get to a point where I wanted to become, medicine to my community. So I evolved to where I spoke on it because not enough brothers speak on the things they go through to make them be the person they want to become. So
okay,
that goes back to evolution.
okay. This is a non-judgment zone, Murph.
Oh
You
yeah,
did what you
definitely.
did. You was out in the streets. You was living your life. You was slinging raw penis, north, south, east, west. Now we had prior discussions about okay, a man. You were probably back in the days if you was doing your thing, you had money, you had means, pretty much, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm gonna say this to the just as much as I was slanging penis is like slanging dope. It's like slanging hope. It's like slanging anything that's an ideal, anything that's a product or a service. Slanging is slanging. which is selling. So that's our essence of entrepreneurship in this. I'm gonna speak on another level on this American society we live in. We told to sell. We taught to sell. We brainwashed to sell, sell, sell.
Okay,
So
Murph. Let me
I
ask you
fell
a
victim to
question.
that.
Okay, so now with all those relationships, you said 14 children?
No,
No,
18,
six,
18,
eight, 18. How many
18,
baby mothers?
18, 14 baby mamas, 18 children.
So now I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think you left any broken homes and fractured women along the way of you living your
Yes,
lifestyle?
yes, yes,
And
for sure,
you said
for
if
sure.
given the chance, you would repeat that?
I will repeat it because again, what we what we as men in our culture to understand sometimes, when I would give you a story. When you victimized, does being victimized make you weaker or does it make you stronger? Do you learn from it or do you grow from it? I believe, and I tell people all this time, the bad things that happen to you are for a reason. And we
Okay.
can we can debate the reasoning behind it, but when I look at life at 52 and spirituality, nothing's going to be all good. You have to have you have to know what in order to know what happiness is, you have to know what sadness. You have to know what in order to know what something truly feels good to you, you have to know what something truly hurts. It's a yin and a yang, and there's a balance to it all.
Okay,
So I
so
believe
again,
that yes, I would never. I've hurt, but I've also helped, and I think that's what makes me human, because we're all flawed.
okay, I got that point, but given a chance at redemption, you could turn back the clock, knowing that good, bad, and indifferent. Because I do disagree with what you said, because not everybody gets up from being broken. There's certain people that don't have the intestinal fortitude to get back on their feet
I,
after something
I agree with that.
horrific
But let
would
me let me let
happen.
me answer that your question about a broken person. I think spiritually, a broken person that remains broken. Let's say a person remains broken to their 90s or what have you. Their energy has reached out to someone and helped that individual, and not knowingly again, because spiritually, I've read the Bible and the Quran. I've read a couple other things as well. The energy we give out to people sometimes helps others, and we're not even knowing that we've touched somebody's life and helped them through something. So a person that's hurt, that person that I would give you an example. That one neighbor that's evil older man. I give you an example. I've met a white person in their 90s that's naturally racist, and I've seen how his energy has educated and energized people around him because they've been affected by his words or his movement. So I really believe that we can't have everybody healed. Can't walk around with a planet of humans. It's not even that's created where everybody's healed. We have to have hurt in order to have healed and people that have never been hurt. I think that's the balance of humanity.
Brother, when
Now,
I hear you speak, there was a line in Lauren Hill's song from Forgive Them, Father. Everyday people, they lie to God too. So what makes you think they would lie to you? You're rationalizing and giving an opportunity, rationalizing, making broken homes, and then giving the opportunity to wind back the clock. You said you would do the same thing over. And at a point in time, when you're doing drugs, drugs are wrong. You understand? And you're
mhm.
affecting somebody. So now, at what point in time, when you are impregnating all these women, did your conscience kick in and say, I need to ease back because I know I'm not doing right and I'm not going to be with these women. I'm afforded a lifestyle. So now I'm going to keep it going as long as I could. Well, at what point did your conscience, or was there truly something that made you have to halt your pace as for what you were doing?
Of course, I what made me had to hold my pace is when I was on my second or third child. I was riding in my car with my two children in the back seat, and somebody shot up my car. and I live to tell about it, and so did my children.
Well,
So let me answer your statement. So I'm not rationalizing anything. Rationalizing something and then the reality of what it is two different things. I don't feel like if to want to hurt somebody is the different thing to know that the reality of it. I just feel like everything happens for a reason, and because I'm human, and I believe my spirituality believes that the creator created the things the way they are and laid the path before me, and I just walked it. So that's just me personally what I believe. So because of that belief, that's why I make that statement. I'll say that. Um, the rationalization of doing somebody wrong, and I don't believe in knowingly to do something wrong, do somebody wrong. Now, if there really was a time machine where I can go back, I would maybe if I could pick and choose. But again, me knowing that it wouldn't make me be who I am today, would you change some of your mistakes if it would change who you are today? That would be my
okay.
question I would ask you, because it would change who you are now.
Okay, I would like to have the opportunity for reconciliation for certain things that I did, but you just told me something and it stuck on me. You said I had the come to Jesus moment on my second or third kid, but yet I had 15 more after that.
Yep. Because it
So
goes back to what you stated. About see, you stated drug. So I always tell people, so we're like my brother Shane was saying earlier, it's psychological warfare with us as men. Our culture is real. I tell people all the time. I feel like I was just like a crackhead is addicted to um crack or heroin. I was addicted to sex at that moment. So then it goes back to what you were asking me. Would I go back and do something different? I don't think I was doing anything. I think it was doing me. Let me say that. Let me say it to you like that. I think the essence of my nature was controlling what I was mentally thinking about, emotionally feeling, and I wasn't connected spiritually to myself. I was literally living off of a nature. I was, getting back to the subject at hand. I was being natural. I was just going around being a male. I won't say a man, a male. A male is, I'm being a male. I'm connected with a female, and I'm procreating. I'm doing it in the bare minimum of what it means to be a male naturally. And I think in a lot of discussions that I hear about people having, there's a difference. We always talk about men, and we don't have discussion the difference between a male and a man, because a lot of men acted in their lifetimes as just simple males. You weren't
good.
being a man; you were being a male. You know what I'm
Word.
saying? So that's what I say, and that I hold myself accountable. Like when you ask me, would I go back again? I can't. Some people, like you said the word certain. Yeah, certain people that I felt like maybe if I said this to them, they would have went left and their life would have changed. I could go back. But how would it have affected my life or someone else's? Because again, when I did somebody wrong, I know for a fact when I did a bid, it I had two or three younger cousins that it saved their life because I went to jail. So it's a domino effect with it all. I believe what we do great and what we do horrible in life, it's a ripple effect. I believe it's just like throwing a rock into a pebble into an ocean or into a river. You got ripple effects, and then everybody's affected by it, good and bad.
Okay, when you were at kid 6, 7, and 8 before Sweeney jumps in, right?
Mhm.
Did any of
All
those
right, I got
women
that.
ask you if you had kids? I'm sorry, Hank.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let
I'll
me
be
let
quick.
me let me let me let me speak on this. This has something to do with the whole subject of monotony. A monogamous, being monogamous. Yes, I was 100% honest with everyone. I've always been 100% honest with my children. When I got to the age of 22, because I started searching out spirituality, and I felt the need to be honest that way, and also in the sense of that way I could be in the sense of saying I told you, so you signed up for this, so you decided to deal with me. Whatever you got out of it, if it didn't go your way, I was honest with you and with myself to where if the outcome didn't match what you wanted to was you couldn't fault me because I was honest with you. So yes, from I would say from my fifth child on, every woman I dated, matter of fact, any woman I date today, I let them know that first and foremost that I'm a father of this many children and I have this many baby mamas, and I tell them a brief summary or synopsis of my life, and that's to be honest with not only self but with them with moving forward and trying to build and procreate or do whatever we choose to do. But yes, I just think when it comes to what we're talking about for as monogamy, and we're talking about the nature of a male, I think that's where we gotta the wording has to make sense. I think the nature of a male is to you know sleep with a female. That's our nature. Now we got other different uh subject matters where it says this is not a nature because some people are born male and they naturally want to sleep with a male, or female naturally feel this way. I think again, the essence when you're
You
created
said
as an
that.
infant,
You said
you're a
that.
blank piece of paper. I think the environment and what you absorb, the energy and the vibe spiritually dictates that. Because that's it. If you get a 6-month-old baby, they don't know their sexuality. It's only what's the word I want to use? It's only directed as they become 6, 1, 2, and 3 and 4. I'll end my statement in saying this. It's no different than I remember I was told somebody had a conversation with somebody about they had a 4-year-old and they was telling me they was asking my advice. So father said, "Man, my 4-year-old little boy, he keep touching himself, right?" And I was like, "Well, that's normal. That's natural. He's trying to discover self." And I told them not to think anything um like the not have to. They was like, "Do I need to take my child, the 4-year-old, to a therapist? Do I need to talk to a doctor?" I'm like, "No, that's natural because he's discovering self. Self discovery is the first thing you do before you discover others." And I think that's what it all boils down to when we talk about this subject of a man wanting monogamy and not. I think it's either something that your foundation or your family or your spirituality is embedded in you, or as you get older, you get to a point where you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually suppress the nature of not wanting that.